Hello, it's Raymond Aaron in sunny Mexico, excited to introduce to you Lee Brower, one of the stars of The Secret and one of my heroes. This is a man who speaks with such profound wisdom. He has a depth of knowledge that is so moving. He earned the right to be in The Secret. Of course, they all did, but I am just so moved by Lee Brower's wisdom, and that's why I'm bringing him to you. You were in The Secret. You have great wisdom. Tell us something that you'd like to summarize, some important point you'd like to make about The Secret for us.
Well, thank you, Raymond. I thought back, when I saw The Secret myself for the first time, I was in shock. I was. I looked at that and I go, holy cow, this is good stuff. And I started trying to trace back when I first started using the law of attraction in my life. And here's where it began. I'm a young boy in my house playing, and all of a sudden I hear a blood-curdling scream from the bedroom. And as I'm heading towards the bedroom, the door opens up. Out walks my mom with the biggest smile on her face, like the happiest person in the world. I said, Mom, what happened? And she said, I just got rid of all the negativity. I said, well, so she taught me at that time what she would do when she would start getting negative thoughts. She would go in, lay flat on her back in her bedroom, and then she would visualize nothing but outstanding positive outcomes.
And it was her scream?
And then to release the demons of the negativity, she would scream as loud as she could scream.
Wow.
And jump up and come marching out. So from that day, I started thinking about it. I can remember before my athletic events, before a test, after I got married, before I go to work, especially if I had a speaking engagement or a specific important appointment, I remember laying flat on the hard floor, visualizing it, sans the scream, okay?
Oh, you don't do the scream?
No, I don't do the scream, but I do what I call turn my lights on. And that's I accept the blessings that are in my life. I look at the opportunity that's ahead of me and say, what are all the things that I appreciate about this opportunity? And then I turn the lights on and go to work. Those of you that saw The Secret will know then
You have one with you.
Well, of course I do.
Of course, okay.
Well, we're here in Cabo. I'm away from my family, so I always have a rock in my pocket. This particular rock came from my backyard because when I travel, this is every morning when I put this in my pocket, it reminds me of all the blessings of home.
Oh, nice.
At night, I capture during the day. But while
You talked about that in The Secret. Just remind them.
Okay. Absolutely. So it's in The Secret. It talks about the power of the gratitude rock, and it talks about how a good friend of mine took it back to South Africa and literally changed lives in South Africa. Well, I also then gather one at the destination where I am. So every place I travel, one of the first things I do is I find a rock from that place.
And you bring it home and you've got them in a big vase or something?
I have tons of them from all over the place.
Wow.
Okay, but I can't keep them because people will come to me and say, Lee, I've got a problem, I've lost my swing. And I just say, well, here, this will solve it. And I hand them a rock. Tell them every day, now when you touch that, think of all the blessings in your life. When you take it out of your pocket, put it in your pocket, touch it during the day, and watch your life change. And I've had amazing stories. But anyway, you asked me about Chile.
Before you tell Chile, I want you give me one.
There it is.
And what will that do for me?
I can't give you the one from home.
No.
But this is the one from here. This one's very special.
Okay.
I mean, you find special ones that have meaning to you. This one is actually a shell, but it's very heavy.
Yes, it is.
It's perfectly fit for this. I wanted a shell or something from the sea because we're right here at the southern.
So nicely.
No, it's a perfect one.
Yeah. And what will this give me?
Well, this is going to give you gratitude. And gratitude, in my opinion, gives you confidence. Because when you're grateful for everything, then your confidence level soars. And I believe the greatest attractant in the world is confidence. Because you'll attract great relationships and you'll attract great opportunities. Well, we're in Chile, my wife Lori and I, and we're going through the immigration. And I look up and, away from me where I couldn't talk to them, I saw a family reunite. And the son obviously was a student because he had a backpack and flip-flops on, and he was all tan. And so they were happy to see their son, and they were sitting there, and all of a sudden I saw him reach in his pocket and pull out a rock. And I'm thinking, no, here we are in Chile, couldn't be. So by the time we got through immigration and over to where we got our luggage to go through customs, I thought, well, I'll go over and ask him. So I start moving that way, but at the same time I'm moving that way, here comes an officer, a policeman, with one of those German Shepherds that are sniffing out things.
Yes.
And obviously I'm suspecting that they're looking for drugs, and,
Right.
and the dog starts barking and getting all excited, his tail's
that
wagging,
guy?
running right at the kid.
okay.
And so I'm like, oh no. But I happen to speak Spanish quite well, so I saddled over there and I interpreted. And so the first thing that the officer said is, what do you have in your pocket? Because that's where the dog was barking, was right at his pockets. So this kid is almost shaking. He's about 18 years old, and you can tell he was really nervous. And so he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out his rock. And the officer looks at him like, a rock? He says, all right, what's in your other pocket? So he reaches in his other pocket, and he pulls out this banana that he had gotten on the airline. So he asked him, where did you get it? And he said, well, I got it on the airplane. And he said, well, those are prohibited, and this dog is trained to find fruits and vegetables that we bring illegally into the country.
It wasn't drugs at all.
No, so they took the banana and everything. So then I saddled over to him. I said, well, what was that in your pocket? And he says, this? He says, oh, this is what is called a gratitude rock. And I said, a gratitude rock? Where did you hear about that? And he said, well, have you ever heard of the movie The Secret? And he says, there's this part in there where this guy, and then he looks at me and he goes, are you the rock guy? And I said, yeah, I am. And he goes, Mom, Dad. And then everybody, including his little brothers and sisters, every one of them had a rock in their pocket.
Oh, I didn't hear that part of the story. Oh,
every
my
one
gosh.
of them. So it was way cool. Lori couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. We just landed in South America, and it's for our very first experience.
Way, way cool.
Yeah, it is. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you.